everyone. I had a little bit of time this morning and decided to walk my dog on the beach. This is Luna. And I really wanted to come and talk about time management and how I sort of managed to get all my projects and roles and different things and spend enough time with the kids, because I know that's such a big topic for everyone. Like, how are we supposed to do everything that we're supposed to do? Put on so many hats, you know. I've started thinking about everything as roles. You know, your job is a role, being mum is a role, being yourself is a role. And I was thinking about it in the car. I was like, well, what would I tell someone that wanted to know about time management and what I learned as a project manager, what I've learned as a yogi? And the biggest thing would be, very unpopular opinion, but it is prioritizing yourself. It is that you are actually the most important person in your life. And some people are going to go, well, obviously. And some people are going to go, oh, but I can't, that's selfish. And that's why it's an unpopular opinion, because it's like, it's seen as selfish. We were taught that it's selfish to, you know, put ourselves first, but then we've got so much oversaturation now that's like, you know, we've got to love ourselves and you've got to set healthy boundaries. You know, the mental health world has really gotten into this. And I know, me personally, when I started, you know, hearing all that stuff, because I'd already worked on my depression journey and, you know, self-discovery a lot and curiously exploring this world, and I was already a yogi when this really became popular, and I rejected it. I felt myself reject the whole idea of self-love, and I sort of go like, I kind of already do that. Like, I feel like watching TV. That's me. I feel like laying on the couch and not doing anything. And it then makes you feel bad for doing what you are already wanting to do. So I think they're going about it in a negative way, but it's like the right message. And so I really wanted to come on and sort of say, like, it's not necessarily that you're not loving yourself. It's prioritizing. It's prioritizing yourself and your best interests and what would be good for you and what the idea that you have that you want to do. And I'm not perfect at this. No one is. You know, there's all these things, especially social media. I think this world now, you see so much perfectionism all the time, and it's kind of exhausting. Like, you're like, am I meant to be like that? And then you're constantly comparing yourself outside of yourself, which is so unhealthy, really. You know, it's very common. Everyone says you need to compare yourself to who you were yesterday. And it's so true. For me, I feel so much better in myself than I did yesterday. And it's because we're growing every single day, no matter what. We can't stop it. We just do. Every new information comes into our brains through our eyes, and whether it's through sound or whatever it is, energetic information, and we're evolving. And so with time management, back to the original point, because I feel like some people may not follow it as well as what I'm trying to portray. So when you prioritize yourself and you set healthy boundaries and you understand the roles that you're playing in your life that you have chosen, so it returns the empowerment to yourself. You stop giving this power to things outside of you, like your boss and previous selves. And when I say that, because that's big in the spiritual industry, what that means is, I always refer to it as past Maddie. I'd be like, hell yeah, past Maddie did a great job. Like, thank you for doing that thing that would have been annoying for me in the future. It's like that. So when I say we're always evolving, you in the past may have chosen something different to what you would do now. And it doesn't mean that you're stuck with that decision. We're never stuck. We're always changing. We're always evolving. And I think we've become scared of the word change itself. that because I think it alludes to loss and grief and negative things. And that's fair enough. I've faced so much of that in my life. I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of loss and grief and depression, and that hitting the bottom was what made me look at everything and look at it properly, you know, really with the detail and curiosity that your life deserves, and say, well, if I've only got one of these lives and I'm worried about loss, what happens when I'm that 96-year-old woman laying in the bed, you know, looking back going, what the hell did I do with my life? And if I am being told that by those, you know, elderly people now, which they do, they constantly say this and try to tell people, and what is that saying? Youth is wasted on the young. Listen, you know, I just listened and I was like, well, I don't want this for myself. What do I want? And, you know, I'm filming this on the beach. I'm so blessed, you know, I'm so grateful to be in this position now because past Maddie decided that I wanted to up and move my family to somewhere I loved living. I wanted to live in a holiday destination. And what that meant was I had to look at my parameters in my life. I did look at it realistically. I was like, okay, what has, you know, employment? What can I afford? Where would my kids grow up? What kind of lifestyle do I like doing and leading? And then the place comes to your awareness, you know, whether that's you casually looking into it, or whether it's like this idea, you've got this like vision in your head of what you want, whether it's in the mountains somewhere, whether it is in the city. You know, I think a big problem with people that identify as yogi or spiritual or going with the flow in life is they kind of then, you know, migrate towards this van life. They migrate towards the beach and they migrate towards these like really hippie ways of living, and it's got such a negative connotation on it. But for me personally, the negative connotation is simply that I just don't want to do that. I like technology. I like having nice things. I like things, it seems dirty. I went to say I like things being clean, but I think that's just because the idea of a van life, it's probably more clean than what I give it, you know, recognition for. Like, because you've only got a small space, where a house is like this huge space you got to keep clean all the time. So my pup's getting distracted now. She's such a good dog. That's another thing. I give her so much attention that she deserves for the level of her intelligence, and she's such a good girl. I'll have to see. God, she's found like a mini doppelganger of herself. She looks so similar. Might walk. I'll walk and talk. So the first step to really time management is understanding what you prioritize in life, understanding your boundaries. Come on. Come on. And then it's really realistically looking at your life and then going, what don't I want? What don't I like? What do I want to cut out? What would I rather spend more time doing? And then, hey, come on. Luna, come on. Discipline's a big one with, you know, animals and kids and people in general. That's probably a bit of a sign to talk about, actually. Discipline is a big one. You set those boundaries, you understand all these parameters that you want, and then it's a discipline. It's like, okay, now I've got to cut these out. I spend 2 hours watching TV, but I wish I had more time to paint. I wish I had time to film these videos, but I got to walk my dog. And then you start doing them. And what happens is that doesn't quite work, and it's a bit of a trial and error, and then you try something new. You try something else, and you find what works for you specifically. Everyone's different. That's why they always preach that. Everyone's different. It may not work for you, but it's not necessarily that one thing won't work at all. It's that, you know, you need to try something, take what you learnt from that thing, try something else, take the positives from both situations or more than one situations, and you never give up. You keep going. And it will work out. It's always going to work out. There is no real thing that won't work out. It's always going to be this or better. And it will be. It'll be this or better. If you're starting to put yourself first, if you're starting to prioritize yourself, your kids will be happier because you're happier. Your employers will be happier because you're more productive, because you're happier, because you're enjoying it more. Or alternatively, if it's like an employment situation, if you hate it, then they'll find people that will work in that situation, or it will force the employment situation to evolve themselves to be more accommodating for others or grow as a company. You know, it's with evolution, it's always this or better, you know, and it's just following the flow of life, and that's so difficult. We're very much taught to like control everything and always consider everything and really lead with our heads, and we're all wondering why we're so depressed and unhappy. You know, I get so much done. I have so many different roles and projects that I enjoy working on, and it's just simply because I make the time. You know, if you're really enjoying something, you really don't mind staying up till 1 a.m. doing it. You just don't. I would like to sleep, but I'm happy, and it doesn't make the mornings any harder because you are fulfilled. You have that happiness. So you just sort of keep going. And then, you know, the monotony of day-to-day life with this routine where everything stays the same every day, that goes away too, because it's not the same every day. And you start noticing these things. You start really paying attention. So that would be my first step. Time management is completely outside of anything structured. Structure helps. Structure helps a little bit. You got to have, again, those parameters. So it's like, you know, around these times, the kids are going to go to daycare. Around these times, I have to remember to eat food. So I get so excited and happy with my life that I forget to eat. That happens. It's not a bad thing, right? As long as you're healthy, but you got to remember those things then. So a lot of it then becomes more of a conscious living, which is what they talk about in the spiritual world. Conscious living is more just being aware of those things that you have to do them. For example, I'm now running out of time. I got to go back to the car, and I got to go carry on with other things. So I'm aware of my time. I'm aware of actively what I need to do next. And then everything in between, I let happen. And I'm still learning this, so we're going to see how my life evolves from this, because I'm just starting. Honestly, it's been such a battle to actually let go of that idea that I needed to make it all happen, make it work. How am I going to do everything? What am I going to communicate? And as long as I've got those parameters there, it's kind of all just flowing naturally into it. Another example is these clouds overhead. You can probably see in the background. So it's not like the best day, but hey, I'm walking on the beach. It's awesome. Who cares? It might rain on me a little bit. It was raining in the car on the way here, but I had the time to go and do this, and I felt like that would be the best thing for me to do at the time. It would be the funnest thing for me to do. I had the time. I seriously debated going back home and I don't know, doing whatever in between. And I was like, I'll end up watching TV. I don't want to do that. Because you do. So we just get out and give it a go. Alright. Gonna love everyone and leave everyone.